Page 189. Number 2 says, what does the concrete mix ratio 1 is to 3 is to 6 mean? 1 is to 3 is to 6. What around? Yes. Okay. So this one, it is one part of cement. 3 around, it's 3 parts of sand. 6 around, it is 6 parts of stone. So any 1 is to 3 is to 6. 1, the first one you make is cement. So you try account to check if you do 1 round is 1 part of cement. 3, yeah, the next number is sand. So if you get 3 round, it's 3 parts of sand. And then the last one is 6 parts of stone. 1 is to 3 is to 6. If the question comes very immediately, 1 part of cement, 3 parts of sand, 6 parts of stone. So number 3. Only question more. There is number 3, and then they gave us this basement again. Okay, number 3 here, the figure below shows a basement with a 1.5 brick foundation wall. Half brick, thick external walls, and 1 brick internal walls. So they gave us a 330 wall, a 330 foundation wall, and then from here until it is divided into 2. We now have a 110 wall, then we have a 220 wall. The 110 wall is external, the 220 wall is internal. Internal, and then the external and internal walls are separated by a 20 millimeter thick mastic asphalt. In between this 110 to 220, there's a mastic asphalt. Line O, it's a mastic asphalt, 120 millimeter. Count number 1, 3.1. Calculate the total cost of brickwork for building only the half brick wall. But with the we have a basement. The basement has a foundation of 330, and then it has a half brick wall in a 1 brick wall. So more when I calculated the total cost for only the half brick wall, isn't for the whole wall, only for the half brick wall. If the bricklaying rate is 335 per meter square, use 30% for overhead and profit. So since they gave us a basement, we need to take off before we calculate the costing. So the dimension paper, use a full page, just half a page, cover sharp. By the way, we should calculate the total cost for your half brick wall again. So you write the description for your half brick wall. Description half brick wall. Here, half brick external basement wall. Before we do that, before we take off, we should do a collection. So let us do our collection. So collection here now, we are going to calculate the perimeter of this basement wall. As you can see, we have 8,500, which is internal. Again, it is not including the walls. So we need to get the total length. So it's going to be 330 times 2 again. 330 times 2, 330 times 2, 660 again. So the total is 660 plus 8,500, or you can say it's 330 plus 8,500 plus 330. So 2 times 330 plus 8,500 is 9160. So this 9160 is the total length. It's from here to there. You cover the whole basement again. Now we need to calculate our width. So width here now, we on it over 2 times 330. 2 times 330 here, where are we getting it? This is 330, there is our 330, and then we have 1,000 to 5,000 meter internal dimensions again. External. So 2 times 330 is equal to 660. And then the length by 5,000 plus 1,000 is 6,000 again. So 660 plus 6,000, what do we get? 6,660 again. Now we need the perimeter. So perimeter is equal to 2L plus 2B. This is our length, 9160. So 2 times 9160 plus 2 times 6660. What do we get? 31,640. So 31,640. This 31,640 is our perimeter again. So after calculating the perimeter, which is 31640, we now need to calculate the 110 wall center line. 110 wall center line. So can you see that our foundation wall is in the middle of the concrete footing? Yeah? The foundation wall is in the middle of concrete footing, like what? So if a foundation wall is in the middle of a concrete footing, now the center line of concrete footing is center line of the wall, they are equal. If a wall is in the middle of concrete footing, the center line of the concrete footing and the center line of the foundation wall are equal. And then now we're going to calculate the 110 wall center line or the concrete footing center line. So we have a perimeter which is 31,640 again. We have a perimeter of 1,000 of 31,640. We need to calculate the center line of a 110 wall again. We need to calculate the center line of a 110 wall. So perimeter is equal to 31,640. Formula center line here. Perimeter minus 4 thickness of the wall. So here's our perimeter, which is 31,640. What is the thickness of our wall? 110. What do we get? $31,200. Again, Kirille, if the wall is in the middle, the foundation wall is in the middle of the concrete footing, then the center line of concrete footing and the wall are equal again. Not the 110 wall and the center and the concrete footing are equal. The foundation wall. Here, this is the foundation. 110 is not the foundation again. The foundation, if foundation are right in the middle, the foundation wall and the concrete footing share the same center line. So we've calculated the center line for 110 wall again. We now need to calculate the center line of the 330 wall or the center line of the concrete footing. So the center line of the concrete footing. Center line of concrete footing will be calculated of the center line of the wall. Let's say center line of the wall. We're going to use this very same perimeter 31,640 again. So our perimeter is 31,640. What is the thickness of the wall? Minus 4 of 330. What do we get? The 31,640 minus 4 of 330, look at 3320. So that is the center line of our 330 wall of our foundation wall. So here we were proving that the center line of the foundation wall, as long as the foundation wall is in the middle, will be equal to the center line of the concrete footing. So we first need to calculate the backfill cause to get the perimeter of what we are calculating now. We need the backfill. So to calculate backfill, again, backfill is the side of the walls. So it's 1,000, which is the thickness of the concrete footing, minus the foundation wall, which is 30, we get 670 divided by 2, we get 335. So to get the center line for the footing, we are going to say 2 times the length. There is our length, we calculated it, plus 2 times the width, and then plus 8 of backfill. This is the backfill we calculated it. We got the perimeter to be 34,320. So to get the center line, it's center line, which is 34, it's perimeter, which is 34,320, minus 4 thickness of the footing, which is 1,000. We get the same answer as this one. Okay? So more, we are doing costing. Here we are costing. They told us to calculate the total cost of brickwork for only half brick wall. Okay? So if they say for only half brick wall, we calculate the collection. Collection here, we need to calculate the length and the width. All around you are going to need the perimeter. So the external length, you are 8,500 plus 1238. If this 8,500 was covering the walls, there wouldn't be any we added 38 again. So leave with your now with this 5,000 plus 1,000, which makes it 6,000, and then plus 30 plus 30. There is our length and width. So to calculate the perimeter is 2R plus 2B. We substitute the length, we substitute the width. We get 31,640. And then we calculate the center line for the 110 wall. So the perimeter, we use this one, 31,640 minus 4 thickness of the wall, 1 the center line of the 110 wall. So the thickness of the wall is 110. Then we now go to the center line of the 330 wall, the foundation wall. So So it's 31,640, which is this perimeter, minus 4 thickness of the foundation wall, which is 330, you get 3320. Or you can calculate the center line of the concrete footing. So to get the center line of the concrete footing, there's your formula: 2 times length plus 2 times width plus 8 of backfill. And then this is our perimeter minus 4 thickness of the concrete footing. You'll get the same answer as this one again. But more, we needed the center line of the concrete footing. So because the center line of wall and concrete footing are the same, we can calculate M1 and M again. The reason really that the center line of the concrete footing is because we will take off the trench. So I'm doing little one. Before we take off, the last thing to do on collection arena is to get the height of the 110 wall. We need to get the height of the 110 wall. I can remember the total cost of the brick wall, which is 110 wall. So we also need the height. So height of 110 wall is
height of 110 wall.
Yes.
Okay. 2850.
2850
plus 38
plus 38
minus 150
minus 150.
Kiona?
Yin kwa bukai?
It will make it go.
Huh?
So I'm not mixing. Yeah, 38.
38. It's correct. Height thing, we have 2850 there. 2850 here. It is under the hardcore, I get. And the 110 wall here now, on that part here hardcore. So our 2850, we need to subtract 150 and then we add 380. Like when a 110 wall for the fella, we add 380 fella one. Yeah, so that is how we do it.
38.
38. So we are done with the collection. Now we are going to take off before the direct costing. We are now going to take off. What do you have the total cost for it? The 220 foundation or 110?
110.
110. So formula here we have brick wall. And the 110 here is external again. So it's one brick external basement wall. Center line here, 110 wall. Now look at brickwork, I think brickwork is measured in square meter. Okay, so we write the center line, which is 31, 20, okay? And then height here in 110 wall is 38, 11. So it's 3,08. A brickwork, its length and height. So this is our length. Our length is what? The center line. And then this is our height. You underline there. So 31,2. Now we need to square. We square on the third column again. So 31,20 times 3,08. We square by saying 31,20 times 3.08. 96,10. So that is how we do it again. So we are done with the half brick wall. If I just talk about half brick wall, we now need to calculate the concrete again. The concrete, what feeling for mixture and it is 1 is to 3 is to 6. I need to be able to the description, but 1 is to 3 is to 6. Mass concrete in the basement trenches. In the basement trenches. So now we calculated the center line for the concrete footing again. Here, feel like
30.
So it's 30,20. 30,32. 30,32. So 30,32 here now. Concrete is measured in cubic meters again. So what is the weight of our concrete? Remember, width of the cone is 1,000, okay? So it is 1,0,0, and then the height 0,35. So let us square 30,32 times 1,00 times 0,35.
10,61.
10,61. So 10,61 will square 10,61 and then you underline. So refrigerator take off. Now we are going to answer 3.1, which says calculate the total cost of brickwork for building only the half brick wall. If the bricklaying rate is 335 per square meter, use 30% for overhead and for the profit. So cost of the building, cost of the building. Cost of the building, Rory, area times cost. Again, area Rina, I get the formula for area and equivalent times breadth. Again, we calculated more the brickwork. So return this number that we got here, which is 96, 96, so it is 96, 10. That is our area, and then what is our cost? They gave it to us for 335. So multiplied by 335. What do we get? 96,10 times 335.
32, 190.
32 again?
190.
Key cost, remember, so in a R, key is in res, 32, key 32, 190,5. So that is our cost. So cost of the building, which actually divide, I get money cost of the wall, 96,10, yes, and what? 96,10 is for the wall again. So now we need to calculate the cost of for the trench. So Leona, sorry, motoring, overhead, and the profit. Overhead and the profit. Most statements are probably overhead and profit, but 30% even. So more overhead and profit, we are going to say 32,193,5, which is this amount, and then you multiply by 30%. Important 30% on your calculator, then your equal sign. 30%, you don't divide by anything, what equal sign, give like 0,3. So we have an amount which is 32,193,5. Now you need to multiply 0,3, which is the overhead and profit. Yeah, critical, but I kind of like what do we get?
96.
96, again. 96, 58, 05, 05. And then now we need to calculate the total cost. Renali cost number 1 again, Renali cost number 2. Cost number 1, cost of the building. Number 2, getting overhead and the profit. So at the end, we enter yearly. So it's 32,193,5 plus this one that we got here, which is 9658,05. What do we get?
Forty-one,
4185.
41, 85, 1.
41, how should I
85,
85.
1.
How should we do?
55.
55. So we are done with 3.1. Let's just do a quick recap. Question said they gave us a basement again. I should basement number and then barifa a question number 3. They say calculate Okay, the figure below shows a basement with a 1.5 brick wall and a half brick foundation wall. 1.5 brick is 38 again. Our foundation wall here is 38. And then half brick thick external wall. External the outside give 110. Give back half brick is 110. And then and a one brick internal. One brick is 20, but it's internal. The external and internal walls are separated by a 20 millimeter mastic asphalt. And as you can see on the diagram, in between these two, mastic asphalt again, that's a mass. So you divided the 110 and 220 wall, right? And then 3.1, calculate the total cost of brickwork for only the half brick wall. It means if they had said for one brick wall, we would calculate the perimeter, the center line for the one brick wall again. So now we focus on the half brick wall. It is what they instructed us to do. We should calculate the cost of brickwork for building only the half brick wall. If the bricklaying rate is 335 per square meter, use 30% for overhead and profit. So you first do the collection. Collection, you need to get the center line. So center line you need to take off again. So we got the length, the total length is 30 plus 8,500 plus 230. The width is 5,000 plus 1,000 plus 2 of 230. Then you calculate the perimeter. 2L plus 2B, you get the perimeter. To get the center line, we were instructed to take off a costing half brick wall again. So that the thickness of the wall kept like 110 again. So it's perimeter minus 4 thickness of 110. And then we got our center line. After getting the center line for the 110 wall, calculate the center line and near the footing again. Or the 330 wall because they are the same. So you calculate the perimeter for the 330 wall with a minus sign 4 of 330, out with 330 wall. Or you can use the other one I calculated the 14, which is 2L plus 2B plus 8 of backfill, meaning you first have to get the backfill. And then your perimeter will subtract 4 thickness of the 14. You will get the same answer as the center line of the 330 wall again. After that, they said we should take off the cost for half brick wall. So it means we're going to need the height of half brick wall. Half brick wall, what's the brickwork again? It is square meter and the length and height. So we need the height again. And then unveiling our diagram, we have 2,850 plus 380. However, that 2,850 included the feel like one. I mean, we included the hardcore. And the more where the 110 wall, it is not under the hardcore. 110 wall starts on top of the hardcore. That's why we reach 150. That 150 that was subtracting here is for the hardcore. Okay. Then this is our height of the 110 wall. We now take off half brick external basement wall. It is measured in square meter, which is the length and the height. The length is equal to the center line, which we already calculated. And then the height, here it is, we calculated it. You close your bracket. You need to square. So if 31,20 times 3,08, we have square. It means our length is 96.10. You open another bracket. 1 is to 3 is to 6. This 1 is to 3 is to 6. I'm about to find it on again. 1 is to 3 is to 6. 1 is to 3 is to 6. Where number 2? So 1 is to 3 is to 6. Mass concrete in basement trenches again. Concrete is measured in cubic meters. So if it's measured in cubic meters, it means there is length, width, and height. So the length of the concrete is the center line. We calculated it again. The width is 1,000. The height is 350. We're done with taking off. Now we answer the question. Cost of the building. Cost of the building is area times cost again. So our area length times breadth, and already when we calculated the length times the height again. Area is 2 things. You multiply 2 things for area again. So she will multiply 2 things. You take this 96,10. This is your area for the half brick wall. You put it there. Multiply by the cost. Cost of building, area times cost. Area times cost. What is your area? The one that you took off. What is the cost they gave you to us by 2335? We get the answer 32,193.5. This means this is our cost of the building. But then they spoke about overhead. But they use 30% for overhead and the profit. So when they say use 30% for overhead and profit, it means we need to calculate the overhead and the profit. So for overhead and profit, you're going to take the amount that you got, 32,193.5, multiplied by the overhead and profit percentage. 30% here, we just say 30% equal sign. How we divide it as so you for 0,3 again, or 30% equal sign. So there it is. There is our cost of the overhead and profit. So we now need to calculate total cost. What is the total cost? If we had ended here, this wouldn't be the total cost. Again, total cost is cost that building, leave the profit, and then we calculate. This is the cost of the building plus the overhead and the profit. There is our total cost, 41,851.55. We are done with number 3.1. Okay, we are now going to 3.2. Okay, now let us go to 3.2. 3.2, we're given this information. 3.2, but it calculate the total cost of material for casting the basement foundation. Use the following information. We are given cement density, which is 1506, price of sand per cubic meter, and 467,00, percentage shrinkage of concrete 54%, price of stones 795, price of cement per 50 kg bag 96,50. So how do we calculate 3.2? We go to page 422. We go to page 422, we'll get the formulas on page 422 to calculate 3.2. Page 176. Give one up to 2, yeah. Page 176. 176. What? We were told to calculate total cost of material again. So total cost of material, step 1, determine sum of ratios. Step 1, determine the sum of ratios. So step 1, sum of ratio. We were given a ratio 1:3:6 again. So in the sum already 1 plus 3 plus 6, what do we get? We get 10. And then step 2, volume of dry mix. Volume of dry mix. Volume of dry mix formula is equal to wet mix volume plus into wet mix volume multiplied by the percentage shrinkage. So where do we get the wet mix volume? Where do we get the wet mix volume? Take off here now. Let's go to our take off. Let's go to our take off. Take off here now. I get it. Now only half brick wall. The second one thing 1:3:6. Concrete what again? 1:3:6. Yeah, is it not a mixture? It's a mixture. A wet mixture and 12. So our wet mixture more than take off. It's from the kind. So that is our wet mix. That is our wet mix volume 10,61 plus 10,61 multiplied by the percentage shrinkage 54%. Okay, so 54% equals sign it for okay. So it's 0,54. What do we get? What is our volume of dry mix? The number of to how many decimal places? 2. Always. Okay, I'm up to 20.
Always.
Whenever I want to do anything, 10, 16,34. 16,31. 34. 16,34 again. And then we got 16,4. Step 3 banana money. Step 3 banana money.
Number of cement bags.
Number of cement bags. Step 3, number of cement bags. Formula number of cement bags is dry volume multiplied by cement density divided by sum of ratio multiplied by 50 again. Number of cement bags, this is the formula from page 176 again. So dry volume calculate step 2 again. So it is 16,34 multiplied by cement density. They gave it to us on our data. What will come like 1506 again? 1506. If a question comes as our first cement density, you need to use 1506. And then all divided by sum of ratio like it and calculate 1 to 3 is to 6, 1 plus 2 plus 6. We have 10, and then we multiply by 50 again. So what is the answer? 49 comma 49,22. There are no cement bags barreling 49,22 because here shopong one you want 49,22 cement bags again. You're going to say you want 50 cement bags again. So round it up to 50 bags and then write down when it's 50 bags. Step 4. Step 4, say again. Quantity of sand. Quantity of sand again. Calculate the volume of sand. So the volume of sand is equal to dry volume, multiplied by the sand ratio, all divided by sum of the ratio. So dry mix volume dry mix volume 16,34. We have a ratio 1 is to 3 is to 6 again. Replace 3 again, get sand again. So what about the sand ratio? Give like 3. And then we divide the same ratio by sum of ratio. Sum of ratio are making like it. What do we get? Paragraph like
We get 4,990.
4,90.
4,902.
4,902. Okay, and then stand find final volume of stone again. Formula volume of stone is the same as this one, volume of sand, but here on sand you replace with stone again. So it's dry mixed volume times stone ratio, all divided by sum of ratio. Dry volume given by 16,34. Stone ratio given by G. Stone ratio given by huh?
There is stone ratio.